Welcome to Exposure. I'm your host, Dennys Ilic. We've got somebody on the show who's one of my favourite actresses and a dear friend of mine, Tricia Helfer. Thank you for joining us, Trish. It's such a wonderful pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm a celebrity photographer working in Los Angeles. Some of the places I've travelled to for my photography are Singapore, New York, Mumbai, Australia, and the Amalfi Coast in Italy. This is Exposure. Your transition was from modelling to acting, and so I'd just like to know a little bit about the process, how you transitioned and how that transition was from, becoming this, incredible dramatic actress from being, a supermodel, basically, not just a model.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I never expected to get into modeling, and I certainly didn't expect to get into acting. Modeling I fell into.
Yeah.
Was discovered by a modeling scout out in the country in Alberta, Canada.
That's a great story.
Yeah, acting was a little bit something more that I pursued because I had been in the modeling world for, at this point, I think 8 years, and I knew it was a young person's business when I decided to make the career change.
Yeah.
I just cut ties. I sold my apartment in New York, I moved to LA, and I said, I'm gonna be here.
What I found was when we worked together in a photographic capacity, the images I would take because of your experience as a model were pretty much 100% on point, every single image. And I have a throwaway ratio, I take 1,000 photographs, 200 of them are awesome, and then you kind of don't even look at the rest. Whereas with you, if I took 1,000 photographs, it'd be like, well, which of the 1,000 do I keep because they're all good, because that's what you do.
You're exaggerating,
yeah,
but...
Not much. But I'm just wondering if that skill as a model, because you do that thing where you're really acutely aware of the shutter going off and the reframing. So, and I feel it too, and that energy is actually quite exhilarating when you shoot somebody like you. It feeds back, and it's kind of like a dance, and that kind of takes me to our second shoot that we did with you and Katie Sackhoff for the calendar that we worked on together.
I remember when we first brought up the option of doing a couple of nude shots, and you just went,
yeah. It was it was pretty funny because we went in there to meet with you, and this is like 2 days before the shoot, and it was like, we should just do nudes. And I was like, I'd never photographed a nude in my life. I kind of stayed away from it, particularly because I'm so passionate about my photography and the art of it that I didn't want anybody to even have any excuse to interpret that I was in it for the wrong reasons.
Right, you're in it for, it's gratuitous.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't even not done anything.
No, I've never done nudes. So the funny thing is...
And then you end up with the beautiful incline shot.
Exactly.
That was like the last shot of the day. We're like fighting light, and we were trying to get the one of Katie in the train track.
It's one of my favourite photographs, So the photograph that is on the wall here, and it's like 7.5 feet wide, is the last photograph that we took for the day, and that was the...
After a two-day shoot.
Yeah, and it was kind of the centrepiece of the Leica exhibition that I did, and it's one of the favourite photographs in the gallery. Like literally the first day, we did those shots in the pool as well. Yeah. So like we are doing absolute full nudes, and I kind of don't know where to look, and it's kind of like, but I couldn't have been in better hands with somebody that is experienced as you. And
didn't my husband end up in the pool holding my feet
he
up?
was actually, that's right.
I was holding onto the edge.
Yes, and he's
on the other side holding my toe.
So if you look at that photograph, it actually stops at your ankle because he's holding your toe. That's right.
Otherwise, I was just sink every other frame.
That's what you get when you got 0% body fat. What are you going to do? And we're going to throw over to our social media question now. Thanks for writing in, Taraji Beeson. They want to know what's more difficult, acting or modelling.
Each has their challenges. They are. I think modelling helped me with kind of technical aspects in acting because especially as a new actor, you're incredibly nervous, right? But kind of knowing already about cameras or being used to people looking at you. And kind of being the center of attention, that helped. Yeah. But they're completely different animals.
Tricia, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's just been a great pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining us in Exposure, and don't forget to keep an eye on Guru Hub for more to come. And also send in your questions because they'll likely be featured in the next episode. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.